Let's make the final Till-Tide quilt pattern, which only uses a layer cake from my In a Day quilt series. Now for the fabrics, I am using Gail Lorraine from Art Gallery Fabrics, which I will have that link down below in the description for you to purchase from a quilt store that I trust. Now with each layer cake 10-inch square, you are going to cut a 5 by 10 inch rectangle and two 5-inch squares. Then with those 5-inch squares, we are going to subcut them twice at a 45-degree diagonal in both directions. And that's it for now. Now, don't forget, I will have that free PDF pattern available down below in the description. And Till-Tide is available in 5 quilt sizes: baby, throw, twin, queen, and king. But once everything is cut, we are going to first sew a scrappy hourglass block together. So go ahead and select 4 different triangle prints and sew them together with a 1/4-inch seam allowance. And do take your time because we are working on the bias, which means it can stretch. So once you've done so, go ahead and repeat this to all of your triangles until you've made enough scrappy hourglass blocks for the quilt size that you are making. Once everything is pieced together, we are now going to trim our rectangles width to the same size as our hourglass blocks, which will be a 4-inch by 10-inch rectangle. Also, in the video, I didn't square my hourglass blocks, but I am telling you that you should, because later on I actually messed up and I had to actually undo some seams and ended up squaring them all up on my own later on. Now, do square your hourglass blocks to a 4-inch square because some of mine actually did end up a little bit larger than others, and it might be because of we are working on the bias. So do take your time and do square your blocks in the end. Learn from my mistake. But anyways, just like I said, make sure your hourglass blocks are 4-inch squared and also cut those rectangles to a 4-inch by 10-inch rectangle. And then it is now time to form the block. To do so, go ahead and take 2 hourglass blocks and sew one of them on each side of your rectangle with a 1/4-inch seam allowance. And that's it. So go ahead and repeat everything until you have made enough blocks for the quilt size that you have selected. And then once all of your blocks are made, it is time to lay your quilt out, which all you'll be doing is placing them side by side. Nothing fancy. Then always you're going to sew your blocks together to form rows, and then lastly sew your rows together to complete your quilt top. And here's what my quilt top looks like all finished. Now do be careful piecing your blocks on the bias once again to avoid stretching. Starch is your friend, and this is actually also one of my favorite patterns within this series, and I would love to make a jumbo block size version of it someday, maybe soon, who knows. But as for the backing, I am using the Calico Blooms print since I had the perfect amount left over for this quilt size. Then as for the thread choices, I am using glide thread in Mercury. And here it is, my Till-Tide quilt pattern all quilted out. And I do hope you have enjoyed today's tutorial. And if you could please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified for your next amazing quilt project.